Hi, I'm Anna,
And I'm Ben.
and we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
We're watching episode 10 of Death Note. I'm
Woo!
so excited.
We're
Oh
at
my
episode 10
god. Okay.
already.
So, I've fallen in love with this series since episode 1. But episode 9. I didn't think it could get better from the chip eating incident. I really didn't. And now episode 9 leaves us with a cliffhanger of Elle and Light being in college together. I don't know what to expect. Are they going to get dorms together? Do they not get dorms at the college they're going to and they go from home? Are they going to be like fake friends? Are they going to I don't know. I have so many questions.
This addition to the plot is amazing, and I love where it is going. It is going to add so much more like tense moments into the show. I think it just adds so many layers of really getting to showcase the two of them and their wits and their constant game and their constant being on, because humans are flawed and humans mess up. And as soon as one of these guys messes up in front of the other, boom.
So that's that's a great detail to point out, because last episode we were very specifically told that Light and Elle scored exactly the same score on a test. We showed how impressed Elle was in Light's performance, assuming that Light is Kira.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're left off with the cliffhanger. I mean, after editing, one of the things that I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, was Elle's moment of improv when he was just kind of like blankly reading off of a paper, and then he saw the paper and it had nothing on it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I love this. I love them both so much.
And we're gonna get to know them on a different level. I feel like we don't get to see as much of Light being who he is to other people as much. Like, I really enjoyed seeing who he, I guess, pretends to be, who he portrays himself as, like, around his family, around the girl he took on a date.
He's popular.
Around when he was talking to Naomi Mithra, like, the way he acts. Like, I can't wait to see more of that, but I also can't wait to see how Elle interacts with young people in, like, a normal setting as a college.
Yeah.
Is he gonna try to be like a cool guy, make a lot of friends?
Nah, he's true to himself, man. Do you think Light's going to be involved in the investigation going further? Elle hinted at it when he confessed, I guess, that he was Elle to Light. I know Light's suspicious of him, but do you think that Elle is going to take that a step further and concretely include him into the investigation?
I think that's his trap. I think forcing Light to get involved or to speak to Light a lot about Kira and the investigation is his way to catch things. Catch if Light says something that the public doesn't know, or that his father shouldn't have told him, or if he has general feelings that he expresses about the investigation or Kira and what the godlike activities are. Does he agree with that sort of justice? I think he's using this and kind of, oh, well, you want to be a police officer and you've helped solve investigations. How about you help with this one? I think it's a total, like, trap.
I think going off that, so have you ever heard, like, the sayings or people saying that it's so hard, it's much harder for, like, a liar to live because they, over the course of their life, gather up so many lies they have to remember which lie they told to which person. Mm-hmm. They have to balance all these things. Maybe Elle's plan going forward is to overwhelm Light with all this different information, involving him into the investigation, to try to overwhelm him, so when he, like, takes a step forward and jabs at him with, like, a hard-hitting question or moment, then he could see if he breaks a little bit.
And Elle has the advantage of not having told Light one lie.
Exactly.
He is Elle.
Exactly.
He is working
Even
on the
if they're on the same intellect, it could give Elle a slight advantage for not having to keep track of everything that he
lies.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god.
He's definitely trapping Light here, and I just can't wait to see I just can't wait to see this like possible fake friendship and classmates that's gonna happen. The plot went exactly in a place that makes me find more joy even than I thought I ever could with this show, because I was already really into it.
You ready?
I am so ready.
All right, let's go.
So, the blonde girl that's in the opening.
The blonde girl?
I think she's a college student. I think she goes to this college, and I think that both of them are going to meet her here.
Yeah?
I don't know what part she plays. She seems kind of like a romantic character for Light. Possibly. Whether he's like leading her on or not, maybe she's like romantically interested in him. Because like how she kind of reaches her hand out to him gave me the vibe, and he like kind of reached back. It gave me the vibes that they're like a couple, maybe.
I think that there's nothing you're going off of that with, but I completely agree with you.
Oh, but
I think it's
also,
like an intuition feeling.
Seeing Halloween costumes of couples, you know, that did a Light and then the blonde girl.
But at the same time, she could be really into Elle or Love Triangle, both of them.
Love
We saw the
Triangle.
girl last
Let us
episode
see a love
being
triangle.
like, ooh, they're cute, you know, or
Yeah.
Elle's cute.
Sachi, your tail is making a guest appearance.
Doubt.
Who doubts? Who is doing
Elle
the
doubts
doubting?
Light, but he suspects Light. I'm so
Does
confused.
he doubt that Light isn't Kira?
I was surprised, Ryuga. I never thought you'd ask me to play tennis as a way to get to know each other.
Oh my god,
Yes!
they're trying to get to know each other. Elle's playing tennis.
It's been a while, but at one time I was actually the British junior champion.
What?
If I ask him if he's British, would he think I'm trying to find out more about him because I'm Kira?
There's so many little details.
Oh, this is gonna hurt my brain, isn't it?
I lived in England for about 5 years when I was younger.
Is that all a lie?
Nothing in that story would reveal Elle's true identity, I promise you.
Oh my god. Look at how like each of them are dressed. Light is
They're freaking playing
overcompensating so
tennis.
much.
I mean, he has this image of being the perfect
Game of tennis,
sheltered genius.
Nothing more. He's gonna get so caught up.
but I know Kira hates to lose.
Both of them hate to lose, right?
Show me his face.
Team love. He who strikes first wins.
Oh my
He who
god.
strikes first wins.
I didn't think I'd ever see this much of Elle.
If you're concerned with public opinion, then you'll want to suppress the fact that most of our detectives would rather let a serial killer roam free than risk their lives.
Straight facts.
What about this L character? Can he be trusted?
Right now, even as we speak, he's risking his life.
He knows that he's like in the field, you know?
Yeah. People are just gathered around watching.
Is he going to think that I'm Kira if I go for the win? I suppose I could just lose on purpose. Since he'd expect Kira to want to win.
Oh,
he
their
also-
brains are just
Oh my
constantly-
god. Is there a tennis anime? I need to watch it.
Not going to let him win.
Amazing.
Look at that.
I'm so glad we're getting more of Elle.
And just like that, we've got an umpire and a line judge.
What?
People are so into this.
I thought I'd heard the name Light Yagami somewhere before, so I checked. He was the 0203 junior high tennis champion.
Whew. They're both crazy with it.
I'm already in your head.
An elaborate act we'll go through so we can say we're closer.
Yes.
Wanted to play tennis with you. You'll assume that I'm preparing to take a step.
Oh my god.
And then you're going to try and trap me by getting me to say something that only Kira would know.
And of course, the only way to win your trust will be to share what I know about Kira.
It only makes sense that I'd want to ask for proof that you are in charge of the investigation.
Want from me is
Some kind of confirmation.
Information. Proof.
we'll have to go to task force headquarters.
Wow.
To win, you must attack!
Wow.
Shoot.
But before this conversation goes
I
any
love
further,
this.
there's something I must tell you. I suspect that you, Light Yagami, are in fact Kira.
Oh my god. It's 5%.
That aside, I don't mind telling you that once I'm sure you aren't Kira, I'd like nothing more than to have you work with me on this investigation.
Well, we get it though.
It means he has grounds to prevent me from meeting anyone on the task force. It's quite the preemptive move on his part.
So freaking great.
Not to mention, we're so out of the way here, no one's gonna give you a hard time about the way you sit.
I don't sit like this because I want to. I have to sit like this.
Why?
You see, if I were to sit normally, my deductive skills would immediately be reduced by roughly 40%.
What?
Would you mind submitting yourself to a test of your deductive reasoning skills? Photographs of 3 notes written by prison inmates while under...
The evidence.
Please let me know what you think.
This is gonna make him.
Oh.
Oh, are they real though?
Did he like change them?
Maybe.
There's a print number on the back of each of these photographs. Clearly, if I read it the way Kira intended on my first attempt, I'd only look more suspicious. It would be quite amazing to learn that not only could Kira kill others, but could also control his victims' actions. L, do you know? Gods of death love apples. But there are obvious print numbers on the back of all these photographs. L, do you know? Love apples, gods of death.
That's incorrect. The thing is, there were actually 4 photographs. L, do you know? Gods of death who love apples have red hands.
It's a fake.
Even though you knew the message was incomplete, you decided that there were only 3 notes. You never even considered that there might be a 4th.
Oh my god.
It was a test.
If you were me, faced with someone who might be Kira, how would you go about establishing this person's innocence or guilt?
I would probably try to get him to say something that was never made public in any way. Kinda like what you were doing just now.
What's incredible is that I've asked countless detectives that same question, and it took most of them minutes to even come up with an answer. You'll make a fine detective, Light.
Yes, he will.
The more impressive my answers, the more of a suspect I become.
Yes, it's about 3% now. However, it's made me that much more determined to work with you on this. I'm in a position where even if you are Kira, it would still be to my benefit to have you working alongside us. Do you know why I'd say that?
No.
There's a chance I can help the investigation to move forward. And if I'm Kira, I might reveal myself. But I know that I'm not Kira, and I certainly don't want to be killed by him. What proof have you been able to give
Good
me
play.
that you yourself aren't Kira? I think I'd be convinced if, say, my father or someone else from the task force headquarters was able to confirm your identity.
You sure talk a lot, don't you? I think that's 7%. Now, if I understand you correctly and I take you to task force headquarters, you'll help us with the investigation. Am I safe in making this assumption?
Does this guy have a death wish?
Whose phone?
Excuse me.
L's. Okay.
There goes mine.
Light, your father is...
Light, it's your...
My father, he had a heart attack.
What? Stress of the situation, maybe?
I mean, and his family is like the current suspect, so I'm sure that's really stressful too. And he's like so overworked with this, I'm sure. But he survived it, I think.
I thought it was Kira when I first collapsed, but I'll be all right.
You angel. He does not
Must have
deserve
added to your
this.
stress knowing that Light is a suspect in this investigation.
This man is L.
This guy is the real L. My father wouldn't lie. There's no need to rush. I have time to
If
sit
Light
back
wasn't
and watch.
Light, these are the circumstances that would stop him. But he's Light. So he's not going to give up.
Is he cleared as a suspect?
When I say I suspect him, you should know it's very minor.
It only makes sense I'd be a suspect. Nope. To be more precise, there's no one else you could suspect. Also, I'd like nothing more than to catch Kira so I can prove once and for all that I'm not him.
No, Light.
Besides, don't you remember my promise? That if something ever happened to you, I would find Kira and make sure he gets executed.
I refuse to believe that my son could turn out to be Kira.
This doesn't seem like an act to me.
Because Light would never kill his dad.
What is truly evil is the power to kill people. And any person who has come to possess this kind of power is cursed.
I would say that he's cursed.
I feel so bad for Detective Yagami. He does not deserve to be put in this situation.
What would it take to get you to believe that I'm not Kira?
If you aren't Kira, it won't be necessary. It's complete nonsense for the investigator to take suggestions from his suspect. And listening to that conversation between you and your father, I was almost convinced you might not be him.
That conversation feeling genuine to Elle, it felt genuine to me, and I really don't think if Light was faced with his dad being the only person looking for him, I don't think
agree.
he would kill his dad at all.
Light Yagami, are you not Kira?
I'm going to create a perfect world. Normally, humans who come into contact with a Shinigami have nothing but misfortune.
Good music.
But I have
Amazing.
Listen, you people must think that just mentioning Kira's name is enough to get us the ratings we need.
Is this like a movie or something based on Kira?
Movie, newspaper.
Is a journalist gonna get wrapped up in this?
Is the girl that we're gonna meet a journalist?
Like an intern or something?
Yeah. That doesn't look like her, does it?
Oh, I got excited.
Now this is more like it.
What?
A message to the world from Kira. If you do not broadcast these tapes, I will kill your company's board of directors.
Oh,
one by
didn't you
one.
mention
Yeah,
someone
a
pretending
copycat.
to be Kira as a copycat?
We talked about if we thought Light would be pissed or like.
Elle could be doing a copycat thing though, sending threatening message. Because remember how upset Light was to be given a fourth note that wasn't real?
Yeah.
So this could be an Elle plan to like put it out in the news that Kira had said something or done something that he hadn't actually done. So it's either a copycat or it's like an Elle plan to like stir the
It
pot.
could totally be either, and I don't know if we're
And then
gonna
he
be
could
able
be
to...
like, Light, what do you think Kira is doing with this? You know, investigator questions.
Back to the discussion. Okay, that was Death Note episode 10. To go off what you were just saying, it definitely could be either. I am not getting the feeling that it is L. I don't know if any of that's based in information that we've gotten yet. I think that it doesn't reek of L to me yet, but it could easily be L. I think it'd be interesting the direction that the story would take if it was a copycat killer or a copycat threat.
That could be a very good addition.
Yeah. It could even be Light. And he sends like a fake note, you know. I don't even know, man.
I think it would be super compelling if it was a copycat because then Elle would use it as testing Light's deductive reasoning skills more and be like, these seem weird. Why do they seem weird to be coming from Kira? And then Light would be like, well, Kira wouldn't have done this. And then, you know, that kind of conversation.
Definitely. For my sake, can we take it from the top of the episode and go through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Open the episode.
The episode opens.
We start off with the high queue of tennis matches in Death Note.
Yes.
So tense. We learned that, I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently Elle had spent 5 years in England and won some sort of tennis championship or was very prominent in the tennis community.
So strange that both of them are just so smart and then both of them are really good at tennis. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Like, that's just too unreal. Coinky dink.
So one thing that it reminded me of, like they were in the middle of the match, back and forth, and seemingly like having the exact same understanding as the other in the middle of the match.
They were having the exact same thoughts.
That reminded me of a moment in Naruto Shippuden where Naruto and Sasuke have a moment where they say that ninja only really know what the other person is thinking when they fight, when they touch kunai. And it felt so reminiscent of that moment that like in the middle of this like crazy important tense moment, they both have the emotional awareness and emotional fortitude to match each other. They're so similar on so many different levels and they can read their energies perfectly.
I was definitely that one fangirl of Elle in the crowd of that tennis match. She and I are on the same page.
Question. After the match, they go to the cafe, and Elle says that he has to sit that way because if he doesn't, his deductive skills are reduced 40%. Am I dumb? Is there something that's obvious that I don't understand why that is the case?
It's probably just one of those, like, creature of comfort kind of things. If there's a certain way that you think best,
Like a
certain
compulsion?
people, if you play music, then
Yeah.
you do better on a test. Like, people have their own little hacks to, like, have a better performance
That makes sense
intellectually.
to me.
So I would feel maybe sitting like that is a way he concentrates and just, like, helps him think better.
That could be it.
Like,
that would make sense to me.
if I'm, like, concentrating on something, I sit with my legs crossed.
Yeah. When Shikamaru and Naruto, to go again, Naruto had his own thing, like when he was really concentrating.
Everyone has, like, their own little things that they do
thing.
to concentrate better, and when they're studying different scenarios.
When I think, if I'm not mistaken, L said that at the last percentage he gave was 7%. That light was.
And wasn't
Kira.
that an internal?
It was
thing he
internal,
said?
I believe. We weren't 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was internal. I did not expect, and my heart dropped when I found out Detective Yagami had a heart attack.
Yeah. Cat just used my leg to climb onto Ben's lap. Sorry.
We have to make an appearance now, Chi.
Yeah. Now that you clawed your mom, you have to say hi.
So when
Okay, back to it. Where were we?
So when Detective Yagami had a heart attack and they both got a phone call,
I'm
my
so
heart
glad
dropped.
He's not dead.
My heart dropped, and then once we showed up there, I was a little surprised that both Elle and Light were in the room at the same time, and that therefore was the confirmation that was referenced earlier in the episode of a third source confirming that L was who he said he was. But the way that Detective Yagami was talking and just confirmation on his morals and his beliefs make it so much harder to love Light on a personal note, because I love Detective Yagami and I don't want to see
he's a
him
really good
upset.
man.
Me too. I love him, and I don't want to see him upset. I think that it was interesting that he said whoever was given this power is cursed. He's thinking about this whole situation in a different light. And whoever had this power is cursed. And I agree with him on like a personal level, right? But it doesn't seem like Light is getting direct happiness out of the situation because, like, in a certain way. Others might get a direct happiness out of killing people or killing bad people because they're killing them. But I think Light's happiness is derived from a farther goal and a farther, it's not about me goal. It's about a belief in what he could do for society and for the world. So it's very complex.
So he gets happiness. He gets happiness not from, like, blood and gore and watching people die. He gets happiness from getting closer to the goal of a safer world for everyone.
It doesn't feel like as selfish in a way as somebody
His reasoning definitely isn't selfish.
Yeah.
It's whether you agree with it or not isn't the case in this conversation. It's that I would say it is not selfish, his reasoning.
Yeah.
Because he is not thinking. He's even said that he knows that if he died now, he would have at least, cleared the world of some of, like, the worst criminals.
I love this show, man.
It's so good. And just this whole college edition of them being, like, friends and using the investigation and the fake friendship as a way to, like, test Light and get him into hard spaces where he has to, like, talk his way out of it in a way that isn't suspicious, but he can't seem dumb, but he can't seem too smart. That's so confusing.
So compelling, too.
Yeah.
Watching the whole crowd, like, form around them. They've done their own research in the time of this one tennis game of who these people are and their backstories, what their tennis lineage is. Oh my god. I want to know more about L, like I'm sure everyone would at this point, but I want to know more about his, like, life beforehand. I want to know who Wadui is to him. How did he get to this point?
that he has. Did he go to a police academy? Did he study? Did he work on a police force for a little bit? Or has he always just been, like, a background investigator character that would be phoned in for really serious crimes that they couldn't figure out what happened. Like, how did he get to the being so well known, the respect that he has?
I will say I'm super glad that Light brought up the counter argument of how do I know that you're not Kira? You know? Because that's such like an in-your-face possibility of him being Kira. And if he didn't bring that up, I was going to be like, oh, you know? But him bringing that up is definitely a good counterpoint for L to think about. Because if Light wasn't Kira, he wouldn't, you know, he'd be suspicious.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a bad call for Light to be like, how can I prove the last time, like leaving the hospital, to be like, how can I prove myself that I'm not?
I think maybe he was running under this idea that if he said it right after the situation his father was in and the conversation he had just had with his father in front of L, that it would seem more genuine.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I'm not really sure if it worked in his favor at all. But I do want to add that I absolutely loved what Chief Yagami said about like all the other detectives and police officers running with their tails between their legs, and that being kind of a reflection on the police department. And you wouldn't, you know, aren't you embarrassed by that, Mr. whoever's in charge guy?
Yeah.
Like that L and Chief Yagami and the other people in the task force are all still risking their lives. But I just know that I really don't think that Light would kill his dad. In a way, I think Light thinks that he is smarter than his dad, and his dad would never actually come to the realization that he is Kira on his own.
Look, I don't know if that... I agree 100%, and that's why I'm saying I don't know if it's intelligence. I think it's like intelligence and emotional intelligence. I think
trusting that his dad loves him too much to suspect him, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So that might cloud his
exactly. And I wouldn't
reasoning.
blame him for that. I'm just defensive of him for that.
Yeah, because it never really seemed like Light saw his dad as a threat.
Yeah.
And when his dad would come home and talk to them, it never really seemed like he saw his dad as someone he needed to get out of the way because he was investigating Kira. So I guess that's like one glimpse of Light still having this like still emotional tie to the human world and not a god-like figure, because he's still emotionally attached and or caring of the people directly in his life that he respects. I think he really does respect his dad.
Agreed.
And I think he was genuinely concerned about the heart attack thing. Oh my god, if his dad had died from that heart attack, they probably would have thought it was Kira. And I wonder how Light would have felt.
Probably would have cleared him.
How would Light have felt if everyone was saying that his dad was killed by Kira?
I don't know if it would have changed his... Okay, whoa. Was the Light was trying to become a police officer before the Death Note? Would he have been a righteous person then, in your eyes even? Like, if he had never gotten the Death Note?
Well, so I think that Light always would have had the same idea of justice that he does after receiving the Death Note.
Agreed.
So...
But, like, would he act as a normal police officer within the bounds of the law if he wasn't given this godly power?
Because he can't be a god, because he was still a human. He didn't have a god-like power. So he would act within the confines of the law. And
it's so easy to, like, be on the side of, oh, if a person is given this power, then they're cursed and they shouldn't do anything. But
more like temptation.
But, like, you don't know what you'd actually do in that situation. You can't imagine it because you're not in that situation, kind of thing.
Like, honestly, if I saw someone standing in front of me and they were trying to murder someone, and I had a death note in my hands, I don't know if I would be as, like, righteous
That's
as
where
I like
he
to
started, though.
That
like,
I am. Yeah, that is where he started, and obviously he's getting more and more into this disassociative, like, killing. Actually, like, killing someone. You are ending someone's life.
What do you think of the picture thing? Like, I thought Light's L's play.
4 pictures?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty great because
that was a good test.
If somebody didn't know, wouldn't they? And they were as smart as Light is, wouldn't they consider a possibility at least of it being incomplete? And Light didn't even consider that.
I don't think I would have considered it. If L was like, "Hey, find the thing with these 3 pictures," I wouldn't have been like, Oh, well, actually, because he said if you read them a certain way, it said it like loves apples, gods do, or gods of death.
Yeah.
So like you would be like, huh, this sentence structure is weird. There must be something
It could
else.
potentially be
Okay.
read a different
So
way.
if you read it based on how the cards were ordered, then yes, you might assume that there are actually 4 cards or just more information. Or maybe Kira is going to kill someone else and leave another note and you're just waiting for it. Yeah. But I probably would have been like, oh, that's weird that he only gave you 3 cards when the sentence structure is kind of funky.
Yeah. Yeah, so like they were numbered, right? They were numbered differently, not even in order. So maybe the numbering of them was a specific like intention of L to suggest that there would or would not be another image.
Because it's 2, 18, 21.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you think that there is a number 3?
Yeah, if you weren't Kira himself, or wouldn't you think there's a number whatever?
You're so right. If you didn't know anything, you'd probably be like, hey, why is this numbered number 2? But then the next one's numbered 18. Am I missing pictures?
So
he failed that test.
I think he did. I think. Well, I mean,
I think Elle even said like that he failed that.
I think in the past couple episodes, Elle's really like when they've come face to face. Since then, Elle's kind of been on top a little bit.
He's on his case. He really is.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, like these last couple episodes really have been a consistent like trying to figure out how he's going to operate under these new circumstances that he was not seeing happening. Obviously, he never thought Elle would present him he never thought Elle would present himself. He never did.
Mm-mm.
It did not occur to him to think of a strategy of if Elle presented himself.
Yep.
Elle keeps giving him more information. It didn't occur to him that Elle might just be like, oh yeah, let's go talk to someone at headquarters and they'll say I'm Elle. Like he is getting like dumbfounded kind of with these things, these choices that Elle is making, and it's almost like he hadn't previously been able to like think of a plan for if these things happen because he just didn't think they would, were even in the realm of possibility. So I feel like he's gonna get a footing soon. I think that conversation in the hospital room with his dad in front of Elle gave him some more footing because it definitely wavered. Doubt was the name of the episode.
Oh,
I think
you're so
that
right.
Formed some doubt in Elle that he was looking in the right place. Because I think he really genuinely is like, dude, if you're not Kira, we'd love to have you on the investigation.
Well,
I truly think he would like to have Elle.
I think the doubt came really when he was like, if he was Kira, this is either a cheesy move or he's not Kira kind of thing. Like, that's when it came. When Light, I think, was being sincere. You know? But, I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No, just crazy.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I cannot wait to watch episode 11. You?
Yes.
Sweet. See you then.